the next structure after the cell organelle is the nucleus. Nucleus. It is somewhat round spherical body in the cell. Now we see that in animal cell it is generally centrally placed, but in the plant cell it is pressed towards the periphery due to the large size of vacuole. Now we see, student, here that is a nucleus. As we have studied, suppose here is the cell. Now there is the nucleus, nuclear membrane. Now if there is the round body that is inside the nucleus called nucleolus, and then there are thread-like structures called chromatin fibers. So inside the nucleus, now if this is called nuclear membrane, in short we write here NM. In prokaryotic cell, there is no nuclear membrane, so nucleic material are scattered in the cytoplasm. The chromatin fiber is just scattered thread-like structure, single-stranded, and in eukaryotic cell, there is double-walled membranous structure. That is the membranous structure binding them, and this is called nuclear membrane. So in eukaryotic cell there is a definite nucleus, but in prokaryotic cell like bacteria there is no definite nucleus. Now, so in all eukaryotic cells, in all eukaryotic, that is the advanced cells, definite nucleus is present. Definite nucleus is present. Now you see that is inside the nucleus there is the structure called nucleolus. Round body in the nucleoplasm. Now we know, students, that the material between the nuclear cell membrane and nucleus is called cytoplasm, and the material inside the nuclear membrane is called nucleoplasm. Now the number of nucleolus may be different, that is more than one nucleolus may be present in the cells, whose number remains fixed in different types of cells. Now nucleolus, so what does it do? Then it regulates protein synthesis. Protein synthesis because it synthesizes ribosome and RNA. It synthesizes RNA and ribosomes. Further, it also stores protein. So this is the function of nucleolus, that is it helps in regulating the protein synthesis by synthesizing RNA and ribosome, as well as it helps in storage of protein. Now the second structure, this is a thread-like structure, chromatin fibers. So these are long thread-like structures. Which condenses to change into chromosome. During cell division. Now we see a student that chromatin consists of nucleosomes. That is, the repeating unit of it is called nucleosome. That is, it consists of histone protein and DNA, that is deoxyribonucleic acids. So RNA and DNA are present inside the nucleus. Although we have also studied that mitochondria and chloroplast, which were the cytoplasmic structure, that is outside the nucleus, but they also contained DNA. But in general, the location of RNA and DNA is inside the nucleus. Now you see here, students, that is, it carry genes which regulates our body features and helps in heredity, that is transmission of character from one generation to another generation. Now we see, students, that is, chromatin fibers condenses to change into chromosomes. The different species of organism have definite number of chromosomes, but remember, it is not the number of chromosome that determine our features, but it is the genes on the chromosomes that determine our characters. So genes, also called factors by Mendel, factors determine the character of an organism, not the number of chromosomes. Like you see, that is, for example, just we have studied that the number of chromosome in a different species will be constant. Like you see, the lion has 38 chromosomes. Now, dog and chicken have 78 chromosomes. Both of them belong to two different species. This is the bird, this is the mammal, but they have this number of chromosomes. So the characteristic is not determined by the number of chromosomes, but it is a type of genes present on them which determine their character. Like you see, man, it is 46, that is 23 pairs and so on. Crayfish have about 200 chromosomes, and some insects have more than 1000 chromosomes. So it is the gene present on them that determine the features. Now we see, a student, that overall, if we will study together, then we say that nucleus regulates all metabolism of the cell, and hence it is also known as the brain of the cell. So this is about the cell organelles and the different structures present in the cell. Students, the next term is protoplasm. Actually, protoplasm is the living substance inside the cell. That is, it consists of all living substance inside the cell. Now it includes cytoplasm, and nucleoplasm. That is, cytoplasm is between cell membrane and the nuclear membrane, and nucleoplasm is inside the nuclear membrane. Now you see, that is, a question is asked that what is the physical basis of life? That is, all life activities are performed inside the cell, that is in protoplasm. So we write here, it is the physical basis of life. So this statement is asked in the question form, that is, what is the physical basis of life? That is, it is protoplasm. Now the chemical composition of the protoplasm is very complex. The elements in its chemical substances like carbon, that is, the elements like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, and phosphorus are same in all cells. These elements are found in the form of different compounds. They are found in the form of different compounds like water, carbohydrates, fats, proteins, etc. Now, since the chemical reactions are taking place, metabolic activities are taking place constantly inside the cell, so the composition of protoplasm is not fixed, is not constant. So it is impossible to determine the actual chemical composition of the protoplasm, because it keeps on changing, as well as soon as it is taken out from the cell, it will become dead. So a question is asked here again, that is, the chemical composition, the actual chemical composition, actual or exact chemical composition of protoplasm cannot be determined. The reason is that its chemical composition keeps on changing due to the metabolic activities taking place inside the protoplasm, keeps on changing, and it becomes dead when taken out from the cell. So although it is a physical basis of life, but it has no fixed chemical composition. There is gradual change taking place, constant change taking place, and if it will be taken out from the cell, it will become dead. So it cannot have a fixed chemical composition. Now, student, we have to further study the difference between plant cell and animal cell. Plant cell and animal cell. Now you see, that is, in first part, as a first part we see that plant cells are usually large. They are usually large and having distinct outline, that is the boundary. Here they are usually small without distinct boundary. Second point, in case of plant cell, cytoplasm is less dense. And towards the periphery. In case of animal cell, the cytoplasm is dense and fills almost every part of the cell, that is inside the cell membrane or plasma membrane. So cytoplasm is dense and fills the almost every part of cell. Now this is the next point. Third, you see, that is in plant cells, plastids are present. Plastids are present in plant cell, that may be leucoplast, chromoplast or chloroplast. Here plastids are absent. Next, you see one more thing, that is here cell wall made up of cellulose is present. Cell wall is protective membrane around the cell membrane or plasma membrane in plant cell. In this case, no cell wall. In animal cell, there is no external protective layer around the plasma membrane. Fifth point. Now, there will be no centrosome. Plant cells will not contain centrosome, but animal cell has centrosome near nucleus. Centrosome near nucleus. Centrosome present near nucleus. Next, large prominent vacuole is present. That may be one or more vacuole, but here vacuole is absent or small in size. So these are the some of the points that differentiate between plant cell and animal cell. Now suppose, students, now we are going to discuss some of the activities performed by cellular level or cells. That is, activities performed at cellular level. Now there are many points related to it. Like the first of all, the growth. As we know that the growth of an organism takes place due to increase in size and volume of the cell, as well as due to the increase in number of cells. The cells go on adding. As a result, the body size gradually increase. Now we have studied in cell theory that every organism starts its life from a single cell. So it will be at cellular level. Next, repair and replacement. Repair and replacement. Suppose any part of the body gets injured, then the healing process takes place by the addition of new cells at that place that will maintain its characteristic. So the repair and replacement takes place by the addition of cells. Now third, transport of respiratory gas. Transport of respiratory gas in animals like you can say that is in animals by RBC in higher organism. So as you know, oxygen from the lungs is transported to the tissues and CO2 from tissues is transported back to the lungs. So transport takes place at this level. Fourth, excretion. In unicellular organism like amoeba, the excretion takes place with the help of contractile vacuole, which is discharged outward. So excretion also takes place. Even in higher organism, in kidney, the filtration of blood takes place by nephron, which is a single structure. Now, fifth, now we see that is in plants, root absorbs water and minerals from the soil. Now we see that is the water is absorbed by root hair cell by osmosis. Now what is osmosis? The movement of water from region of its higher concentration to the region of its lower concentration across the semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. The respiratory gases are exchanged by diffusion. Now and last, the minerals are absorbed by active transport, that is by spending energy from lower concentration to higher concentration. That is, you see, that is in soil water the mineral is in lower concentration, whereas inside the cell sap minerals are in higher concentration. Still it is absorbed from soil to the cell across the semi-permeable membrane. So in plants these changes take place. Again you see, in plants the stomata The opening and closing of stomata is regulated by the guard cells due to change in its shape. Finally, suppose we take reproduction. Reproduction takes place by in sexual reproduction by fusion of male and female gametes. Like in plant, it is egg cell, that is ovum, ovule, and then the pollen grain, male nucleus. In animals, it is sperm and ovum. So we see that all functions of the life activities, whether it is simple organism or complex organism, is taking place at the cellular level. So students, this is all about the chapter, the unit of life, that is the cell. Clear, student? Thanks. Now if you like it, you must like, share and subscribe our channel to get the latest videos uploaded by us, and also press bell icon for notification. Thank you.